Well, I just don't know who this one viewer is, so if you're on Suicide Watch, you can watch this special about Natalie Wood. And if you're not, you can also. I really wanted to see some Judy Garland stuff tonight, but she's F what I want. Oh, see, I think our one viewer is actually relieved that we left. I didn't do my emails today. I didn't make my phone calls. I made a few of them. I did what I had to do. But that's about it. Our viewer is with us. Viewer, who are you? If you're random, that's okay. I hope you like. I'm gonna rewind. Don't worry. So you can't watch the Oh, they're gone. They don't even care. They don't need me. ridiculously excited. This is my favorite part of my Crazy About the Movies 6-hour long homemade VHS tape that I haven't watched yet. So I'm very excited to watch it with you, the non-existent viewer at 3 in the morning. We're gonna love this. Oh. Natalie. Don't do it. Getting something happens with these VHS tape built-in TVs where it's hard to get a good video of it. I just spilled shit everywhere. What we do for that non-existent viewer, am I right? And I just held up a newspaper to get rid of that. It's in AM New York. With my girl on it, and I can't do a thing. So beautiful. You know what? You gotta love that fucking Horace and Pete shit. You gotta love Annie Hall. You gotta love the raped and the molested and the rapers and the molesters, unfortunately. It's like, what do you have without it? You got war, and you got one endless murder, right? From murder comes murder, and then murder, and then murder, and then murder. It's just a simple truth, isn't it? Obviously, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. I do.
Where you'll always get more movies, more choice, and more classics.
You're still not seeing it good, are you? The track.
We like all the movie greats just the way they are, just the way they were meant to be.
That's right.
Keep the class and classic. So if you
Trying.
like movies do, stick with Cinemax.
I wonder if I could rate something.
More choice.
If that'll make it better.
More classics.
I don't know how to show you guys. By you guys, I mean you girls, and by you girls, I mean nobody.
She was a movie star, but
Maybe
not
you
a
can
movie
just
queen.
listen.
Up there on the screen, she was always down to her.
It's your life!
And in her time, in Rebel Without a Cause, Splendor in the Grass, she made movies that really connected with her time. Like Natalie herself, they still connect today.
Move over, stars, and give me some sky. I've got me some wings, I'm eager to try. I may be unknown, but wait till I flown. Your song I hear from top to the moon, 'cause I've got a shot. I'm climbing a cloud and calling it mine. You'll pardon my hate. I come back to wait.
seemed to be on the screen forever. From the time we all grew up, it was Natalie Wood. She's the prettiest girl I ever knew.
In the audience, I would care what happened to her. I would want to know what happened to her.
The quality that I remember about Natalie more than anything else is of a kind of sweetness. When a persona fitted the role, you couldn't do better. I mean, it was, she was it.
Natalie always kept her feet on the ground.
I mean, she was not perfect, but she was damn well perfect.
You know, there's some people that talk about the way to live life. And Natalie just lived it.
What added to all that? Because she was a beautiful woman. Natalie Wood was born Natalia Nikolaevna Zaharenko on July 20th, 1938 in Richmond Hill, the Russian immigrant section of San Francisco. She was the daughter of Nicholas and Maria Zaharenko, who later simplified their last name to Gurdin. And when Maria saw how her daughter loved to dress up and play make-believe, even making up her own songs to sing, she began to dream of Natasha becoming a movie star. In 1943, director Irving Pitchell arrived in Santa Rosa, California, where the Gurdin family was now living, to shoot Happy Land. The hopeful mother managed to deposit her daughter on Pitchell's lap. Natasha sang a song for him and was rewarded with a bit in the movie. She had to drop an ice cream cone on the ground, start to cry, and be carried off by her mother. A small moment, but Pitchell didn't forget her. 3 years later, renamed Natalie Wood, she made her debut at the age of 8. In Pitchell's Tomorrow is Forever, starring Orson Welles and Claudette Colbert. As Orson Welles said, she was a born professional, so good she was terrifying.
She's a genius. For the same reason she left Vienna?
I was only about 5, so I didn't know how to read yet. So my partner told me, and I had to do it with a German accent, and I had to learn to speak a bit of German.
Can he help you?
To reach my half on. He was always very helpful. I remember he was quite temperamental also, but never towards me.
You didn't expect it, that's why you were startled. You can understand.
I'm not very angry under the movie angry under this. I know under the view. This thing's awfully silly, Mr. Daly.
I know, huh?
Okay.
You might have to redo this in a better light.
Say hello to Santa Claus.
Why?
Because when you talk to him, you might feel differently about it. A year later, in a movie that earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Picture, Miracle on 34th Street, she became a top child actress. Well, young lady, what's your name?
It's Walker West North.
Hi, Kim Franco. I'm Santa Claus. Oh, you don't position there, do you?
You see, my mother's Mrs. Walker, the lady who hired you. But I must say you're the best looking one I've ever seen. Your beard doesn't have one of those things that goes over your ears.
That's because it's real, just like I'm ready to Santa Claus. Oh, go ahead, pull it.
Well, I still vaguely believed in Santa Claus at that time, because I was about 7 or 8, I guess. I guess I had an inkling that maybe it wasn't so, but I really did think that Edwin Glenn was Santa, and I had never seen him without his beard, because he used to come in early in the morning and spend several hours, I guess, putting this wonderful beard and mustache. And at the end of the party, when we had a set party, I saw this strange man without the beard, and I just couldn't
Didn't all
get
come
it together.
4 pictures later, The Green Promise almost ended her career and her life. In one sequence, she had to cross a bridge during a storm. The bridge was rigged to collapse after she reached the other side, but the stunt was mistimed. And although she escaped serious injury, Natalie was left with a lifelong fear of water, of drowning in water. The born professional was kept very busy in front of the camera and made 11 pictures for the next 5 years.
because he used to come in early in the morning and spend several hours, I guess, putting this wonderful beard and mustache. And at the end of the party, when we had a set party, I saw this strange man without the beard, and I just couldn't
Didn't all
get
come
it
together.
together.
4 pictures later, the Green Promise almost ended her career and her life. In one sequence, she had to cross a bridge during a storm. The bridge was rigged to collapse after she reached the other side, but the stunt was mistimed. And although she escaped serious injuries, Natalie was left with a lifelong fear of water, of drowning in water. The born professional was kept very busy in front of the camera and made 11 pictures in the next 5 years. In 1949, she won the Child of the Year award.
On behalf of Children's Day National Council, I am happy to congratulate you on being chosen Child of the Year to present to you this silver cup from the council.
I'm very pleased that the third Sunday in October has been designated as Children's Day.
I'd forgotten until after we got into the movie that she was a child of the movies, that she had started all the way back as a kid.
And from the time this girl was a child, she was a star. And she just didn't have the kind of lives that we all have. We grew up going into a commissary where you'd see the cowboys and Indians sitting and having lunch together.
It is loading a child with a tremendous amount of responsibility. And however you slice it, I mean, the child has not made the decision to do that work themselves.
Natalie spent most of her childhood in a movie studio. She played daughter to some of Hollywood's greatest professionals: Barbara Stanwyck, Maureen O'Hara, Frederick Murray, James Stewart, Margaret Sullivan, Jane Wyman, Ethel Barrett, and Betty Davis in The Star.
Be careful, Precious! If you fell over!
Oh, she won't. She's a good sailor. In a scene that was later cut for the movie, though Natalie was terrified of water, the director tried to make her dive into the ocean. As she later recalled, the second I hit the water, I panicked. I swam a bit, but was hysterical. They finally got me out and used a double to shoot the scene again. Forgot to say duck. When she made The Star, Natalie was almost 15 and not too happy about it, because she knew it was the age when many child stars reached the end of the road.
We had jumped from childhood into womanhood, both of us. Natalie never stopped working, and I never stopped working. She never went through an awkward stage, nor did I, so it meant that we both grew up in front of the camera.
She posed for a family portrait with Olga, her mother's daughter by a previous marriage, and with her younger sister, Lana. But she was restless at home, beginning to find her mother overprotective.
I did when I reached about 15. I guess most kids do rebel at that age, but yeah, I did. I felt, my older sister hadn't been allowed to wear lipstick until she was 16, and I was, at 11 and 12 when the girls at school were already wearing tight skirts, a bit of lipstick, I wasn't allowed. And, so I rebelled.
As an adult, Natalie hit the brass ring with Rebel Without a Cause, which is a film that had a tremendous social importance at the time. And so she represented for a lot of people, like Jimmy Dean did, for a lot of teenagers, a tremendous identification.
You see, we're newlyweds.
Yes. Oh, there's just one thing. What about
Children, right this way.
yes?
See, we really don't encourage them. They're so noisy and troublesome. Don't you agree?
Oh, yes. And so terribly annoying when they cry. Oh, yes, I don't know what to do when they cry. Do you, dear?
Round them like puppies.
When I did Rebel Without a Cause, when I was a teenager, it was kind of hard to convince the producers that I was the right age. They still saw me in pigtails and like little child, somebody's daughter. So I had to make a lot of screen tests for that. But that was a lucky picture because that part had such dimension to it, more than the normal ingenue role for a 15-year-old girls. So I think that helped me get into more mature roles.
And I think, like a lot of guys, I love with Natalie because she was the understanding girl in the school who would break through your estrangement.
I didn't know you said that. All the time I do. I didn't know you said my delivery. And now I don't see that. But it's so easy. Why is it easy now? It's great too. I love you, Jim. I really mean it.
Somebody could say she was the quintessential girl next door, but hell, she wasn't. She was the girl that you really wanted to be next door. You wished for next door. You should only be so lucky that this girl was next door.
With actors like Dean and Dennis Hopper, she talked about acting as more than just make-believe, as a way of exploring your own life when you created a part. And Natalie realized that to grow as an actress also meant growing up. Soon after Rebel Without a Cause opened, Natalie graduated from Van Nuys High and won her first Academy Award nomination. She was happy to accept a small part in her next picture, The Searchers, because the director was John Ford and the star, John Wayne. Let's go home, Debbie. It was a long wait, almost 5 years before she found another role that really involved her. As a contract star, she was kept busy in picture after picture, and she couldn't connect with any of them.
Why did they let him do that? Because I'm a slave. Microsoft lets me.
I had missed that whole state of movies that she used to mock and stand up in private and make a lot of jokes about. It's one that she called The Girl Was Left Behind. And then she used to do all those terrible Spanish lines from The Burning Hill,
You dirty gringo! You're no good! None of you!
She appeared on television on such shows as Jukebox Jury.
Meet my buddy.
Your buddy? Natalie? Back in the Rebel days.
Well, we're both rebels, from way back.
Accepting an award for the late James Dean from actress Grace Kelly. Dating Elvis Presley, though not for long. With Bob Hope on his TV special. Natalie had spent her childhood making movies with happy endings, but in real life she was lonely and restless, until she fell in love at 18 with Robert Wagner. They seemed like two people living a movie.
When I came into Natalie's life, I was sort of a different kind of person than she had been. with before. I mean, you'd been with done Rebel Without a Cause, and she was sort of all into that whole actors group and the whole thing, and I was sort of a happy Jack Squirrel kid, with nothing on my mind much but my hair, and I really, liked Natalie a lot, and I'd be wanting to strike up a little conversation without the chocolate bars and that kind of thing. And she sort of resisted me a bit actually at the beginning because I was so different in all of that. I finally started taking you on the right if you want.
On my 18th birthday.
On your 18th birthday, yeah. And that's when Natalie and I started going together, and then I sort of kept talking to her and buying more chocolate.
And then a ring.
Well, actually, when I was 10 years old, and RJ was about 18, I guess, when we were first in the contract, I remember walking down the hallway with my mother, and I saw him. I said to my mother, when I grow up, I wish that I could marry him. And then he did.
The newlyweds were photographed as often as the theme song from Natalie's current movie, Marjorie Morningstar, was played on the radio. Natalie could smile now and mean it.
I really got to know her well, and we became very good friends.
I wish you could see Elizabeth Taylor.
When she and RJ were married,
She's so tan.
like, she was a very bad girl. I'd gone and Natalie and RJ were both the only people in this industry who could talk to me.
I think that everybody understand that they were very young in the first marriage and under a lot of pressure to be the perfect couple and so forth. You heard all those cliches. And oddly enough, a lot of it's true. And most of us kept tuning into the next phase of this program. These two charming newlyweds had promised to keep their eyes off each other long enough to look after the Oscars. Yes. Oh, thank you.
She was enormously popular, but she was still unhappy about her career until Eddie Kazan offered